During COVID, I lost all of my SEO clients. I was working in the travel industry and I was left with nothing. So I ended up starting my own small business, growing and selling it within 18 months. So I want to give you the clear action plan you can use to rank your small business at the top of Google and answer the question whether SEO is worth it, not just as a SEO specialist now, but as a successful small business owner. Also, if you want to implement this for yourself, then I've created the 100K small business SEO playbook, which you can get below. As the COVID pandemic took hold, I was working exclusively with travel marketing clients and I lost them all literally overnight, which meant I had to go back and start again. And I ended up starting a pizza van. Now, this was completely new to me and something I didn't really have any experience in catering, but what I did have was the ability to get to the top of Google and market a business. And it was so important and it was totally worth it as a small business, the time investment in doing this, because it meant we could go off and run our business, do the actual fulfillment while leads came into our email box. Phone would ring in the mornings, even on a Sunday night, of people wanting to book us to come to their wedding or their private event or have them come to their local community to serve them our product, which is awesome. It kind of automated the whole process. So yes, SEO, getting to the top of Google, is still worth it for a small business. It can take a lot of pressure off your shoulders in trying to find customers. And so I'm going to explain the very basics, the only thing you need to know about SEO, and then how to implement them for your business like I did. Now, this was my business, Flanco Pizza. You can see it on Google here. But the cool thing is it ranked for a lot of different keywords, such as Pizza Van Brighton. You can see we were top listing. We were the top listing for Pizza Van Sussex. We were the top organic listing. We were second place after this Facebook listing for Pizza Van Hove. All sorts of different keywords, 10 or 20 of them, we were actually coming up top of Google, along with other search terms like Pizza Van Near Me and Wedding Pizza Van, all sorts of different things. So how did we make this happen? Well, the first thing you need to understand is what keywords you're going to target with your website. I'm assuming you have a website. If not, step one, get yourself a website. You can use any platform, have someone build it for you, or even use platforms, easy platforms like WordPress or Wix to get you going. For a small business, you don't need anything too fancy. You just need to get up and running so that Google can find you. The next thing is you need to start understanding your keywords. Now, to do this, you can use keyword research tools. This is something called SEMrush. There's lots of other ones out there. There's Ahrefs, there's Ubersuggest. There's lots of cheaper versions as well, which I can put the link to some in the comments. But you need to start researching what you're going to rank for. So, for example, Pizza Van would be what you would probably start searching if you ran running this small business. Now, what you can start to see straight away is you'll start to get the monthly search volumes, how many people are searching for this keyword a month, and how difficult it is to rank. This is 1.3K searches a month and 46 difficulties. So it's not the highest volume, but it's pretty good for a small business, and it is possible to rank, although it will take some work. What we really want to do is dig down a bit deeper because it's a small business. We actually didn't have global or national fulfillment abilities. We only had our local area. So we needed to tune down our keywords a little bit more as to what we wanted to rank for. So you can go into these keyword research tools and start looking a bit closer. So Pizza Van Near Me is a great one to rank for because that's going to show us in people searching that search term in our sort of 2-hour drive radius or something like that. And then as you scroll down, you can start to see other useful search terms. Pizza Van for Hire, that's a great search term to rank for. There was Wedding Pizza Van, another good one, Wood-Fired Pizza Van, Catering Pizza Van. These are all great search terms. They're not perfect for us because we're in a local area. So there would be a lot of searches that maybe weren't quite relevant to us or we weren't in the area, but they're still worth going after and they're directly in the sort of words we're going to be using on our website. Now, to tune it down even further, we wanted to also go with locations in these keywords. So you can see now we can start to see, I just did mention some of them, Pizza Van Surrey. So that was a potential radius for us that we wanted to rank for. We can actually use these search tools to actually start to get better idea. So we could actually filter in the included keywords we wanted to rank for to actually get some other options to see what it was possible for us to actually go after. And you can start to see now that the volume of these keywords, the number of searches was actually reducing quite dramatically. But for us, one wedding booking could be worth £1,500. It's certainly over £1,000. So actually 20 people searching a month for us to come up top could be very, very lucrative. And you can see here that all these different search terms that we could target on our website. So what you want to do is you want to start finding all these search terms and collecting them all up. Now, if you're a local business like this, you actually might not even need a keyword research tool. You could just do your business type, so pizza van or whatever it is, if you were a plumber or a window cleaner or anything like that, and pair it with your local town and village and area names. So pizza van plus local town, pizza van Brighton, or we could do it for smaller or wider search areas as well, whether it's counties, states, or even go a bit niche as well, depending on how much time and effort you want to put into these rankings. So you want to gather up all the relevant keywords that you would like to rank for your business. Now, once you have them, this is where the real SEO work starts. You want to start creating pages on your website that are relevant to these keywords. So almost you can think of it for each individual or separate keyword or location or type of thing you're going after, you can create a different page on your website. So you can actually see, if we were to say for this business, Pizza Van Brighton, you can see that this business has got a page targeting Pizza Van in Brighton specifically. We want to start using that keyword in our header of our page. And this isn't the website we built, so it has changed quite a lot. But you can see you want to start using the keyword in the main headers of your page and get it early on in the content, as well as sprinkled in through the page as terms of where your locations are and how it relates to your business. It's actually changed quite a lot, so that's not a good example. But what you can see, it is in the main title of the page, and then you want to get it in the main headers and the main content throughout your page, sprinkling it in there in different scenarios. So really trying to explain how your business serves this solution or this problem for a customer within your local area in 300 or 400 words, nicely laid out on a website. There's plenty of examples on the web that you can go and find. If you're not sure, go and look at competitors or people in other areas doing this and copy other high ranking styles on their pages to get a good idea. That's usually a good guide. Now, if we go over to the whiteboard a second, that's the first thing I want to talk about is keywords. Your keywords are what you want to put on your website, and that's called on-page SEO. That's on-page SEO is the content, the information, everything within your website. Now, I like to think of SEO as in terms of cars, basically, because there's the second most important thing for SEO, and the only two things you really need is on-page SEO and off-page SEO. Off-page SEO referring to everything that happens outside of your website, almost stuff that's a bit more out of your control, but you can have some sort of influence over. So you can think of off-page SEO as things like your Google business profile here. So you want to make sure you've set up a Google business profile to give people a place to review your business on Google and find this sort of knowledge panel on the side about your business. This is also going to help you show up in the Google map pack here. As you can see, you want your business to show up in these little map packs for when people are searching near to you, searching for your type of business near your area. So your Google business profile is one important aspect of your off-page SEO. The other thing is mentions and links from other websites to your websites and about your brand. And this is known as backlinks and brand mentions. And these are really important to Google because every time you get a backlink and a brand mention around the web, it signals more trust about your brand. It signals that you're a really trustworthy entity and a trustworthy website and source of information. And the more you can build that up, the better your rankings are going to be. And why I said that I like to think about SEO as cars is your on-page SEO is your vehicle. It's your doors, your window, your driving steering wheel, your wheels, your engine, everything like that. And your off-page SEO and your backlinks and brand mentions are the fuel. You can build your car, you can build a website, but the fuel to get it where you need to go to rank for what you want are represented as links. Okay, so if you want to perform well, you need both. You need on-page and off-page SEO. So off-page SEO, how do you do that? Well, it can be a little tricky at first. Google reviews and your Google business profile, that's well within your control. You can set that up all up and put all the important information in there as you need. And you can just click a link and you can just ask your customers to go on Google and leave you a review for your business. Now, outside of that, where else are you going to get your brand featured and get mentions? Well, the easiest place is with your social media profiles. Any trustworthy business now has active social media. So make sure you've got nicely created social media profiles. Make sure your name and information, phone number, and everything is correct on there. Make sure they're active, and make sure your website link is correctly placed in your social media profile. So you can see here for this business, it is linked in there nicely straight to the homepage of their website. That's perfect, exactly what you want. Those are easy, like foundational links to get. Now, the next place you can do is making sure you're featured in industry and local relevant directories. To give you an example here, this business is featured and listed and linked in Hitched, which is an industry, a wedding industry catering sort of website which recommends businesses. That's great. It's mentioned in other top 10 lists around other websites. It's mentioned on nextdoor.com, PopTop. It's got loads of references to this business around the web. You can even see it's had articles written about it, the business, which has got links from high authority and well-known brands and websites like Sage, the accounting platform, has actually written a whole article on the business and about me and about our journey. And you can see early on in the piece, it links back from that website to our website. That is a massive trust boost and a massive ranking factor for Google. So you want to make sure you're getting these links and these mentions of your brand around the web. And honestly, SEO is kind of that easy a lot of the time. Find a list of your preferred keywords that you want to rank for, build pages targeting each of them, then get your business mentioned, listed, linked from other important websites around the web, build a Google business profile, and you'll start ranking on Google, and you'll start to see people asking to hire your business, coming to your website, sending inquiries almost automatically without you even having to lift a finger or even post on social media. That is why SEO is worth it for small businesses. Now, allow me to address some of the questions you've submitted on SEO for small businesses so I can help clear up the most common questions right here, right now. Number one, how long does it take to see SEO results for a small business? Look, a lot of business owners try to sort of go after really quick results, often get contacted of people needing customers now, not in a few months. But to be brutally honest, SEO isn't something that you're going to see massive changes every single day, every time you open your Google Analytics. It's going to take months really to see noticeable changes for your business. Generally, the rule is 3 months. 3 months from when someone would start working on the SEO for a website, would you expect to see positive results for your business? Does that mean things can happen quicker? Yes, sure. Things can happen quicker. You can rank a Google business profile very, very quickly if you get enough reviews and get it optimized speedily. But for pages to rank on Google, especially if you don't have a lot of authority and a lot of backlinks and SEO authority juice elsewhere around the web, you remember the fuel, the backlinks we were talking about for your website, it can take a lot longer. Next question, do I need a blog to rank on Google? The short answer is no. A lot of people will say, yes, you absolutely 100% need a blog to rank on Google. But for a lot of small businesses, especially local businesses, it's not necessarily relevant. We didn't use a blog for the pizza van. And I know a lot of local businesses and a lot of people I work on, they don't actually rely directly on a blog to drive traffic to their website, because actually what you want to focus on initially, certainly with your SEO strategy, is bottom of the funnel, customers with high intent that are looking to buy and convert for your website, from your website. If you are writing a lot of blog content, it can drive a lot of traffic, and it can be good to build and support the rest of your high intent commercial pages, but it might not actually drive a lot of business to your website. So you should always start with your commercial pages and your core keywords before going on to a blog to sort of improve your wider content marketing. Okay, next, how do I get my business to show up in the Google Map pack, that local 3-pack that you see next to a map on Google search results? Well, really, your number one thing should be to make sure you've got more reviews than all your competitors. That's one of the biggest signals. That's the easiest thing you can do and control as a business owner. 2, make sure you've accurately filled out all the information in your Google business profile. Another big thing is people don't fill them out. They don't fill out all the service areas. They don't sort of put a detailed description of what they do. That should also be keyword rich. You can also encourage your customers to leave keyword rich reviews as well on there. That's another one. And you can even do things like embed your map listing on the location pages of your website. And finally, how much does SEO cost for a small business? Look, that's like how long's a piece of string. You know, a lot of time cost is how quickly you want to execute. One thing I'll say is stay away from really cheap operators. If someone's offering you a really cheap price, then they're probably either not going to be very good, not very experienced, or they're not just going to have the budget to execute everything you want to do. If you're paying only a couple £100 a month for SEO for your website, it's probably not going to do much. It might maintain a few things on your website, but it's not actually going to grow it. Generally, you'll see like certainly anything less than £500 a month, you're really going to struggle to see traction. Often you might say like, okay, £1,000 a month might get you going and get you some results in the short, medium, and long term. And again, it's a patient picture. So the more you spend quickly, the more results and the more you're going to be able to drive your strategy forward. But even with, say, you spent £1,000 a month, it might seem like a lot to a lot of people. But as I mentioned, for that, even a small pizza van, which is a two-person operation, one booking is worth £1,200, £1,500. So if each one of those pages is driving even one extra booking, it's going to be a profitable exercise to invest in this. So it might be a case of starting slowly or doing as much as you can yourself based on courses and YouTube and reading books and stuff if you're just getting started. If you've got some budget, then it's worth actually committing to doing it for a full year to see the actual results come through. If you just sign up with an agency or a freelancer and just do a couple months and be like, oh, we've not seen any results, then you're just going to be blowing money down the drain. You've either got to be committed or not. If you're interested in optimizing your Google business profile, then check out this video here, which I've done a complete rundown for you on how to get started getting to the top of Google into that 3 map pack with your Google business profile.